SkyTour news for September 17th to the 23rd. I'm Amanda Curran. September 23rd, 1846. Johann Galle finds Neptune. The planet Neptune was mathematically predicted by Urbain Le Verrier, and telescopic observations confirming the existence of a major planet were made on the night of September 23rd to the 24th, 1846, at the Berlin Observatory by astronomers Johann Gottfried Galle, assisted by Hendrik Louis d'Arrest, working from Le Verrier's calculations. By 1847, the planet Uranus had completed nearly one full orbit since its discovery by William Herschel in 1781, and astronomers had detected a series of irregularities in its path that could not be entirely explained by Newton's law of gravitation. These irregularities could, however, be resolved if the gravity of a further unknown planet were disturbing its path around the Sun. In 1845, astronomer Urbain Le Verrier began calculations to determine the nature and position of such a planet. November 10, 1845, Le Verrier presented to the Académie des Sciences in Paris a memoir on Uranus, showing that the pre-existing theory failed to account for its motion. On June 1, 1846, in a second memoir presented to the public meeting of the Academy, gave the position, but not the mass or orbit, of the proposed perturbing body. Le Verrier was unaware that his public confirmation had set in motion a European search for the purported planet. On August 31st, Le Verrier had presented his third memoir, now giving the mass and orbit of the new body. Having been unsuccessful in his efforts to interest any French astronomers in the problem, Le Verrier finally sent his results by post to Johann Galle at the Berlin Observatory. Galle received Le Verrier's letter on September 23rd and immediately set to work observing the region suggested by Le Verrier. Galle's student, Hendrik d'Arrest, suggested that a recently drawn chart of the sky in the region of Le Verrier's prediction location could be compared with the current sky to seek the displacement characteristics of the planet as opposed to a stationary star. Neptune was discovered just after midnight, after less than an hour of searching, and less than 1 degree from the position Le Verrier had predicted, a remarkable match. The Royal Society awarded Le Verrier the Copley Medal in 1846 for his achievement. The discovery of Neptune led to the discovery of its moon Triton by William Lassell just 17 days later. September 17, 1968, Zond 5 completes circumnavigation of the Moon. Zond 5, a member of the Soviet Zond program, was an unmanned spacecraft that in September 1968 became the second ship to travel to and circle the Moon, and the first to return safely to Earth. Although unmanned, Zond 5 carried the first Earthlings to reach the Moon, including 2 tortoises, mealworms, wine flies, plants, and other life forms, and was also the first to return moon travelers safely to Earth. Zond 5, a version of the Soyuz 7K L-1 manned moon flyby spacecraft, was launched by a Proton K-carrier rocket with a Block D upper stage to conduct scientific studies during its lunar flyby. Zond 5 launched on September 14th, and on September 18th, the spacecraft flew around the Moon. High-quality photographs of the Earth were taken at a distance of 90,000 kilometers. On September 21st, the re-entry capsule entered the Earth's atmosphere but could not perform a skip re-entry due to a failure of the guidance system. Landing was supposed to occur in Kazakhstan, but instead Zond 5 splashed down in the Indian Ocean and was successfully recovered by USSR recovery vessels. Although the ballistic re-entry would have been bad for human occupants, it did not appear to affect the biological specimens, all of which were alive and well when the descent module was finally opened 4 days after landing. The Zond 5 return capsule is on display at the RKK Energia Museum in Russia. September 21, 2003. The Galileo mission is terminated. Galileo is an American unmanned spacecraft that studied the planet Jupiter and its moons, as well as several other solar system bodies. Named after the Italian astronomer, it consisted of an orbiter and an entry probe. Galileo arrived at Jupiter on December 7, 1995, after gravitational assist flybys of Venus and Earth, and became the first spacecraft to orbit Jupiter. Despite suffering major antenna problems, Galileo achieved the first asteroid flyby of 951 Gaspra and discovered the first asteroid moon, Dactyl. Galileo also observed comet Shoemaker-Levy 9's collision with Jupiter. The data Galileo collected supported the theory of a liquid ocean under the icy surface of Europa, and there were indications of similar liquid saltwater layers under the surface of Ganymede and Callisto. Ganymede was shown to possess a magnetic field, and the spacecraft found new evidence for exospheres around Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. Galileo also discovered that Jupiter's faint ring system consisted of dust from impacts on the 4 small inner moons. The extent and structure of Jupiter's magnetosphere was also mapped. On September 21, 2003, after 14 years in space and 8 years in the Jovian system, Galileo's mission was terminated by sending it into Jupiter's atmosphere at a speed of over 30 miles per second, eliminating the possibility of contaminating local moons with terrestrial bacteria. This is SkyTour News. I'm Amanda Curry.